Does home insurance cover fences on my property? This is a great question, and we're going to discuss it in detail. So when we talk about fences on your property, depending on where you live in the United States, some properties have fences surrounding them completely. Here where I live in Arizona, almost every single house has a fence surrounding their property. The majority of those fences are concrete cylinder blocks. They can be very expensive to build or to repair or to replace. And so a lot of people want to know, if something happens, am I covered under my homeowner's insurance? The first thing we're going to talk about is other structures coverage. That is a coverage that comes automatically on your homeowner's policy. And it comes automatically as a percentage of your dwelling coverage. Remember, dwelling coverage is the coverage that covers your actual home itself, the main structure of your home. And let's just say, for easy purposes, your home dwelling is insured for $500,000. Your other structures coverage would come as a 10% of the dwelling coverage of $500,000. So you would automatically have $50,000 in other structures coverage. Now, what is other structures? What does that mean? That is any other type of building or property that is on your property, but it's not directly attached to your home. Something like a detached garage, something like a shop out in your backyard, or something like a fence, like we're talking about. That's what would fall under the other structures coverage. So the answer is, in most every case, yes, if something were to happen to your fence, it is going to be covered under the other structures coverage. Now, it's important to point out, just like with any coverage on your homeowner's policy or anything that were to happen on your home, it has to be covered by what's referred to as a covered peril, meaning things like lightning, theft, fire, things that happen suddenly and accidentally. We talk about this often, but things that happen or occur due to lack of maintenance, proper maintenance, those things are not going to be covered. Such as an old roof that needs to be replaced. No damage has happened to it, it's just old. That's not going to be covered under your homeowner's policy. So a fence, just because it's old and suddenly falls, or not suddenly, just because it's old and with time it starts to fall down, that's something that likely would not be covered under a homeowner's policy. However, as I mentioned before, if it's sudden and accidental, such as a tree falling during a storm onto your fence and knocking it down, that in most cases would be covered. Let's say it's a wooden fence and your home catches fire and the fire spreads to the fence and burns down that fence completely. In most cases, that is going to be covered. So as we talk about often, things that happen suddenly and accidentally, in most cases, are going to be covered under your homeowner's policy unless they're specifically excluded. So the answer is yes, in most cases, your fence is going to be covered under your homeowner's insurance under the other structures coverage. I hope this answers your question. If you have more questions, please post them down below. I'm happy to respond in the comments or make a new video if warranted to fully explain. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.